Over the years since Pokemon started with the Red and Blue games, there have been new types added once in a while. In Generation 2's Gold and Silver, we saw the addition of Steel and Dark types. And later on in Generation 6 and Kalos, we saw the introduction of Fairy typing. But I wonder, if we are gonna get another typing anytime soon, then my question is, what new types could we possibly get? Well, today we're taking a look at exactly that. What new types could we get that we really need in Pokemon? Let's get started. Starting us off has to be the sound typing. This has been a typing that I myself, as well as many others, have wanted for such a long time, and it's been one of the most logical typings that fits really well in Pokemon and also with quite a lot of different Pokemon. It would also be really cool and good to have as a secondary typing for quite a few Pokemon as well. Now, what actual Pokemon would fit with sound typing? Well, the most obvious and first one that comes to mind has to be Loudred as well as Exploud, as it is just perfectly fitting with it. Having a large mouth and the whole, just ability to echo out with that, those massive amounts of noises, it all just makes sense. Also, you can give sound typing to something like Jigglypuff instead of the normal typing that it has, but sound typing also fits Chatot, Meloetta, Noivern, and probably a few more. And something like Noivern with sound type would be so cool, considering like how actually real bats use like echolocation as a way to navigate, and it fits perfectly with the sound typing there, like with something like Noivern and even like Zubat and stuff. I just find that this is like no questions asked, like the perfect typing to just add to Pokemon. And I'm really surprised we haven't seen it added in the games yet. Like, it's honestly surprising. So what are your thoughts on it though? Do you guys agree with it being a perfect typing that we need in the games and the Pokemon world needs? Or are you the other side? Do you think that it's not necessary? Let me know in the comment section. Either way, let's get to the next one. Then we have a typing that I think could work really well as well, and that is the Tech typing. Now, you might just be thinking there isn't enough Pokemon that fit this typing, but you'd be surprised how many Pokemon would actually work really well with the Tech typing. See, with the first and foremost most obvious one being Rotom, as all the different versions of Rotom, as well as all the different sorts of Rotom we've seen as like Pokedexes and stuff, are all a sort of technology, right? Some sort of, version of tech, right? And there is more stuff beyond that, like, Magnezone and its pre-evolutions also fitting with this really well. And let's not forget Genesect, as well as Magearna, which really fits well with that also. Like, they fit with the whole, like, vibe of being, like, kind of tech-based. There's probably loads more Pokemon that can fit with this, but also, if we get a new generation that was to roll around, then we could definitely also bring a load of new Pokemon with tech typing, the same way Fairy typing added new Pokemon. When it was added, it added a bunch of new Pokemon with the Fairy typing back in Generation 6. Either way, though, tech typing to me sounds like a cool idea. Having Pokemon use technology as a way to fight would be so cool, and I can imagine them being like weak against something like water types because they would fry their circuits with the water, like if they touch them, but strong against something like psychic and dark types. Either way, a cool typing that I think would be awesome to see. Next, we have light types. I mean, this one is a tricky one, as there's quite a few Pokemon that could fit with this, but also loads of other Pokemon that already have a good typing to them to begin with, but also fit with the light typing. So it's gonna be a bit complicated to explain it, but here are some of the examples of Pokemon that fit with the light typing. First up would be Lantern, and that just makes sense with the light on its head. It just makes sense for it to have the light typing as some sort of secondary typing on it, and I just think it would be really, really useful. We have something else though, something like Solrock also fits with the light typing, but also Sunflora, which is a Pokemon that takes in sunlight as it's literally a flower. So here we have a case where the perfect Pokemon fits with this sort of typing. The light typing just makes sense for Sunflora, as well as Solrock and Lantern, and probably loads of other Pokemon as well. Sure, you could argue it's kind of similar to something like Electric, but this wouldn't utilize Electric type moves. It would be like a light typing, like something that shines a bright light, or just basically something different, right, than like Electric typing. So there are a lot of Pokemon that fit into this that are Electric type, but that's besides the point. Also, the light typing would be perfect as a counter against Dark and Ghost types, and could work as some sort of like a holy light type of thing. And I mean, sure, a little bit religious on the side there, doesn't need to be, but like, kind of think of it the way it works in like World of Warcraft or something. But my point is basically this, right? All I'm going to say is light typing is cool, and I think it would be awesome in Pokemon. I think it's a typing that fits. There's a lot of Pokemon that fit it, and definitely would be awesome to have. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. What are you guys' opinions on that one? Let's go to the next one. And next we have ourselves Cosmic typing. And here I instantly want to mention Deoxys. I mean, it was made for this typing, and really any kind of alien looking Pokemon also fits the Cosmic typing. It's a typing that really should be necessary and kind of needed for the amount of Pokemon that kind of fit it and definitely would benefit from having it. So you can also add in like Rayquaza, maybe doesn't fit as much, but I think would be cool to have it, as well as Minior from Alola, which fits with the Cosmic typing perfectly, actually. I mean, it's a literal meteor, right? That's the whole point of it. So I think there is like definitely a bunch of Pokemon that fit in here and definitely deserve to be in here. And there's loads more Pokemon like Clefairy and its Evos, as well as Lunatone and Jirachi. I mean, there's so many Pokemon you can fit in with this typing. It's crazy. And I don't understand why we haven't gotten some sort of Cosmic typing yet. I mean, it makes sense to add it at this point, considering the amount of Pokemon that could benefit having it. As for what it would counter and what it would work really good against, it would be cool if it actually countered fairy types and was some sort of counter specifically for them. I know we already have like steel typing being really good against fairy types and etc., but I would think it would be cool to see like another one being added to counter those a little bit, as there are some that are kind of insane. So I don't know, it would be cool to see something like that. If you guys have any better ideas for counters or what Cosmic typing would be strong against, let me know in the comment section down below, as currently I can't really think of any in particular. Next up is Shadow typing or Shadow Pokemon. Now, these need to show up in the mainline games. I mean, come on, Game Freak. We've had these back in XD Gale of Darkness, and when they were added, most people assumed that they would eventually show up, you know, that these Shadow Pokemon would show up and carry over to the mainline games, you know, like maybe it would happen. However, that ended up never happening. On the other hand, we did see Shadow Pokemon, though, make an appearance in the mobile hit Pokemon Go, where they got included. But imagine, just imagine for a moment, if the mainline games brought out Shadow Pokemon. We could see things like Shadow Lugia show up, you know, again, return, and perhaps even like Shadow Ho-Oh show up. Like, that would be amazing. Like, just genuinely, I think Shadow Pokemon should be in the game. I mean, personally, I find that to be awesome and frankly cool thing that, if possible, would seriously make me happy as a Pokemon fan, and probably a lot of others as well. Also, the option for Shadow Pokemon are pretty endless, as you could either make it a straight up typing, which works like any other types, or you could make Shadow Pokemon some sort of new form of Pokemon, similar to regional forms like Alola forms and Galarian forms. And this way, you could allow for almost any Pokemon, like any old and new Pokemon, to also be a Shadow Pokemon. This could allow for a lot of possibilities, but the other way around of making it a straight up new typing does also bring a lot of possibilities. Either way, all I'm saying is, it needs to happen, okay? I need to see this happen. I want to see Shadow Pokemon. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited about the possibilities for this. So, what are you guys' thoughts? Let me know. Let's go to the next one. Rubber typing is next, and this one has existed within the community for quite some time. People have been suggesting it for a bit of time now. Now, there are actually quite a few Pokemon that do fit with this, and some of those that clearly fit with this are Pokemon like Muck, Ditto, Lickitung, and Gulpin, as well as something like Goodra. Like Pokemon that just kind of fit that kind of rubbery feeling to them, right? And some of the moves they could roll up with could definitely be the sort of moves that often are kind of forgotten about by most people. Moves like Wrap, Bind, Coil, and whatnot, and probably a few more also better moves, as well as new moves. Like just adding stuff in here like that just fits well. This is the sort of like typing that would be useful for the sort of Pokemon that kind of just exist, but are usually stuck with a boring normal typing to them, and could use a bit of spicing up in their actual typing. So it's just kind of like this sort of typing that it would be useful to have there, just to kind of balance out some Pokemon that are kind of boring with the normal typing. And finally, we have ourselves Wind typing, and this one honestly does conflict with flying types, I know, but at the end of the day, this is all just for fun. But either way, I do think that Wind typing would fit perfectly for those Pokemon that are in birds and don't actually fly at all. I mean, imagine a Wind typing on something like Gyarados, you know, instead of flying typing, or perhaps a Wind typing on Scyther, which is such a cool Pokemon, but doesn't fit with the flying type, but could way more fit with the Wind typing. I mean, these are like just some of the options. There are probably loads more options for the sort of Pokemon that could fit with this that you can let me know about in the comment section down below. So that is the end of the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Again, I apologize about my voice in this video. Tried my best. If you guys did enjoy, drop a like down below. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified for all the videos. And guys, if we hit 1,000 likes on this video, I will try to make a part part 2. It's maybe not going to be that easy because there's not that many options for more typings in Pokemon, but I'll try my best to make a part 2 for you guys if we hit the like goal. Either way, thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.